Today we are talking pharmacy business in relation to other businesses. In this episode, you're going to know the differences between pharmacy business, the similarities in relation to other businesses. I'm pharmacist Msima Nelson. You can check on my platforms, Neri, subscribe and like. We start. Now, pharmacy business is a complex business, yet it is highly productive or profitable as well if it is well handled. Okay. Now, in terms of capacity, there are wholesale pharmacies and retail pharmacies. Now, like this one you are seeing here is a retail pharmacy. Now, I will hinge much on retail pharmacy because it is where my expertise is. It's where I have practiced for about 5 years, and from registration to purchases to management, everything I have experience. So when I'm talking about pharmacy business, I will use school knowledge as well as practice. Now, just like any other business, pharmacy can be wholesale or retail. Just like I said, I won't talk much about retail pharmacy. Now, in terms of registration, pharmacy business must be under a company. A company can be SMC or a partnership. What I mean, it can be one person or it can be a partnership company. Whereas other businesses, some businesses work as companies, others work as casual. Okay, but for pharmacies, it must be a company. So in registration, you must have a company. Then you go ahead and register a pharmacy or start the process of registration of a pharmacy. And here in Uganda, the authority that takes pharmacies or that oversees pharmacies is called National Drug Authority. And for you to get a license in National Drug Authority, you must, among the papers you submit or the requirements you submit, there are always documents about the registration of the company. So it is a must for you to have a company. Unlike other businesses whereby you can operate without a company, or you can decide to register a business as a company, which is the best, of course. That's about registration. 2, regulation. Pharmacy business is a highly regulated business. In terms of regulation, I mean, for example, in terms of distribution, you don't just bring a pharmacy near another. There must be a specified distance. These distances change with time because NDA is mandated to do that, to make regulations. So with time, these distances keep changing. These distances that separate pharmacies, they usually consider, if it's a retail pharmacy, they consider the nearest pharmacy, retail pharmacy. If it is wholesale, they consider the nearest wholesale pharmacy. Okay. Then another thing they consider, if it is a city, if it is a municipality, if it is a town council, there are different distances they consider. In case you are interested in that, you can inbox me or you can comment. I will be replying you with answers, okay, about the distances. So Unlike other businesses whereby most of them, like these normal shops, you can put anywhere. You can put your business anywhere, in as long as you get the premises there, you can put there. Okay, but for pharmacies, there are prescribed distances between the pharmacies. You don't just bring your pharmacy and put to your neighbor. No, unless it meets the guidelines. For example, if you are locating from somewhere and maybe the distance allows, because there are also distances that are allowed during relocation of a pharmacy, or you're upgrading from a drug shop to a pharmacy, those distances. Okay, another thing, the premises or the house that you're going to put your business, there must be a specific size of the premises. For example, a retail pharmacy like this one, it must be a minimum of 20 square meters. Okay, 20 square meters. If it is smaller than that, then it will not pass, and you will not put there the business. Even if it has passed the distance from the nearest pharmacy and it fails the distance inside or the area inside, it will not pass. That's how highly rejected it can be. But for these other shops, you can get it squeezed somewhere, put your stock and start selling. Unlike here. Another thing, staffing. You don't bring any person who has not studied and you put them in a pharmacy business. No, they must have gone to school, and the minimum can be a certificate, either in pharmacy or nursing, diplomas and other cadres. Okay, unlike other businesses, someone can study business, they can study arts, they can even not study, as long as they know how to count and give balance. But here in pharmacy business, you must have seen school, studied medicines, you must have studied how to handle medicines, you must be in that line. Okay, that is staffing. Of course, there are other support staffs like maybe accountants, askari, or security people, cleaners. All those are assistants. But the major staffs who serve clients, they must have studied health-related courses. Pharmacy diploma, pharmacy certificate, nursing, and pharmacists. Those are pharmacy bachelors. So, you must have studied. That is about regulation, highly regulated. Even the medicines that you stock, all of them must have passed NDA tests or National Drug Authority tests. They must be accredited. They must be allowed to be sold in the country. NDA accredits every medicine that comes within the country or manufactured within the country. NDA must be in know of every medicine, and the pharmacist is always there to check or to guide about that. And of course, the pharmacist is always the fountain, is always the epitome, the center, the engine of the pharmacy business. If there is no pharmacist, there is no pharmacy business. Highly respected cadre in pharmacy business, a pharmacist. Pharmacists are the highly respected cadres in pharmacy business because they are the ones who help in the registration and license acquisition to operate the pharmacy business. Where they are not, there is no pharmacy business. Okay. Another thing, capital. Now, in relation to other businesses, every business, including pharmacy business, needs capital. However, pharmacy business may need more capital than these other small businesses. Siman Chakara, I have some small shop, I can put salt, what? No. Pharmacy business may need a slightly higher capital. Why am I saying this? As we have seen all these factors. For example, space, the premises. For you to get 20 square meters, you must pay, like here in Kampala, 3 million, 2 million, 1.5, 1 million. And most of the times you pay in years or months. So, if you are a beginner and you are paying a full year or 2 years, even if you are paying 1 million, that's already enough capital. Then stock itself. Medicines are expensive. For you to put this stock, you need some good money. I'm not saying you have to begin big. You can begin with little and you keep upgrading. But you need this money. If you have very little rent, or if you are using your own building and maybe stock, they helped you get some stock, the process of beginning and you start selling, though some people begin with less and along the process they keep adding in. Other business you can begin with 5 million, 10 million, 15, any amount. With other businesses you can begin and keep growing with time. Okay, but pharmacy business capital is slightly higher than these other businesses. Of course, this business begins how it depends on how big you want to begin. Even here it depends on how big you want to begin, but in relation to other businesses, pharmacy business, you need a slightly higher capital. Then challenges. Every business has got challenges, okay, and they are different. In pharmacy business, there are challenges of expiries. Medicines expire, and when a medicine or a drug has expired, you can't give it to a customer or a client. You cannot. Okay, when a drug expires, you must isolate it from other medicines, record it, and keep it in a lockable cabin. When those expiries reach a certain amount, you go to the National Drug Authority and notify them with your list. They give you a go ahead to go and destroy the medicines. However, it is not you who destroys the medicines. There are companies which are accredited to do that. So you go with that list with the permission from NDA. You go to them. They destroy those medicines and they give you a certificate of destruction. You also present it to NDA. Show them that this is this list. I took the medicine and the medicines were safely destroyed. Other businesses, expiries, items always have long expiries. Sometimes they return to suppliers. Others just throw away like that. Okay, but here expiries, you must even pay for those expiries. The destruction is not for free, it is for cash. So even when you are employing or doing the staffing, you make sure you train the staffs on how to move your items. Even when these things are packed. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this Panadextra? Now this one down here is having a longer expiry date compared to this one above. Why? When someone is picking a medicine, they usually pick what is above, and that one moves faster. So as this one that is kept can be utilized later when it has not caught up with expiry. So even this kind of arrangement you are seeing here, it is intentional. It's not just throw there. No, it's intentional to cater for fast in, fast out. The medicine that you receive faster should get out faster. But therefore, or first expiry, first out is given a priority. Even if you receive a medicine today and it is having a long expiry, then you receive a medicine there and the next day is having a short expiry, you sell that one faster. So that is stock management also, which is not in other businesses. That critical handling or management is not in other businesses. For that management, you need trained staffs to do that. Then another challenge is product recall. You may be there selling items and all of a sudden National Drug Authority says or gives out an advert that this medicine, this batch has been recalled, and from there you're not supposed to sell it. You're supposed to quarantine it and inform your supplier that I have these quantities here, so you can come and take them, or you take them to your supplier and you see how to handle or settle that issue. Unlike other businesses where you don't get abrupt calls that you return this, no, it is rare. But in pharmacy, that one is there. Okay? Then sometimes items get lost on market just like any other business. But here, an item can get lost on market, yet people have gotten used to it, and they were coming, they were over consuming it, and it was moving, making money. All of a sudden it gets off the market, and it disturbs clients for them to get it other alternative items. So it's also a challenge. I'm sure it's also in other businesses, but it's also a challenge here. Then another thing, taxes. Just like any other business, pharmacy business also pays taxes. One, the licenses to operate pharmacy business gotten from NDA, we pay for them. As of now, we get licenses for 3 years. Get a license, operates for 3 years, pay, get another one, and every time you have to get this license, they come and supervise and see if you are still eligible to get a license. They look at the premises. Are they still in position to handle medicines? Do they have the necessary environment, temperature, everything in good place? Are the walls not cracked? Are the floors well tiled? Is the ceiling cracked, or is it in good condition to handle medicines? Then there you pay for that license. If you pass, and they give it to you. Another thing, local councils. Of course, this one doesn't come like tax, but it's also money spent. Just like any other business, they also pay these taxes. Local service tax and the advertisement, that's like any other business. Then income tax by URA also pay income tax. Depending on how much you have made, I think URA has to collect 30% of your profits. Okay? Just like any other business. Then lastly, stock. Where do you get the stock? That's also a challenge. When you are getting the stock, just like any other business, you have to look at the prices, costs, buying cost versus the selling prices, the competitors, how much they are selling. So sometimes you can import, you can buy from wholesalers, but the best channel is, or the advised, the commonest channel is buying from wholesalers, wholesale pharmacies. Okay. There are many other issues to talk about. I will let you inform me about what you need to know about pharmacy business. But those have been the difference that I can touch on between pharmacy business and other businesses. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share with a friend. Don't forget to like this page. For more information about pharmacy business, I'm truly available for you. I'm Nelly. Thank you for listening to me.